Maybe I'm muted.
Nope. Anybody want to kick off with their victories?
Officially quadfacta processed.
Oh, nice. Nice work, Tabby.
And I have 3 of my, well, not necessarily ads, but I have some value-added posts that I've boosted, and I didn't realize in the past that I could actually attach my pixel to what I've been boosting so I can train my pixel to my audience, and it would continue to go back to the same future audience. I didn't realize that. So it was a big learning curve, but now, I just love that when I'm dabbling in it every day and talking to new members in the community, what they're doing. It's just that collaboration is learning. That one little thing. There's always that one little extra thing that you can do, in your boosts or your ads or your targeting that can totally change, the direction of who's actually clicking on your links and training your pixel, all the little intricacies. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Awesome. Well, great job.
Thank you.
You're moving on to 5A land pretty soon.
That's the goal.
Awesome. Who else has a victory to share?
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Ron, go ahead.
Just basically something you already know. Ads are running 3 days, doing very well. Just trying to get some conversion going. Excited, but I find it's very time consuming, but it's worth the effort.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, there's a great way to automate that message, and you're always going to get better conversions when you're personalizing the responses. But again, sifting and sorting. You want people to come to you. You want to create language in your responses that is going to help somebody else qualify themselves, right? You only want to work with the dedicated people. So, you try to get them to earn that from you.
Yeah.
And there's a way to do it that is not offsetting, off-putting.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it where you're still putting the relationship first.
Right.
And you'll get a feel. You've got tons of experience in sales already. Use that experience and say, hey, is this person going to be a qualified buyer? Do they actually want what we have to offer here?
Yeah. Oh, I already did. Yeah, I had one guy, actually probably about 45 minutes ago, that I was communicating with, and he was pretty harsh, which was fine because I basically start my spiel. I'm a no bullshit kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he was harsh, and I said, "Have you heard of affiliate marketing?" And his reply was, "Well, why don't you tell me your idea of affiliate marketing?"
Yeah.
So right there, I just said, "Listen, obviously you're not that interested. Why don't you have a nice day, and maybe later on Google affiliate marketing, because it's all the same thing." And within about 45 seconds, he was coming back saying, "I need to know more."
Yeah. Awesome. The takeaway.
Yep, that's right.
Takeaway strategy. Love it. Well, great job, Ron. How many leads have you had now in the first 3 days that you're at?
Look, today I have 42 leads and 25 shares. And I think
beautiful.
I think I'm over 200 likes on it.
Hey, that's awesome, man. Great job.
Thanks.
Sounds like it could be a winner.
We shall see. I have to convert them now. I've done that part. Now the next part.
Yeah, that's right. Well, awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Who else would like to share a victory? Come on. There's got to be some victories out there.
Okay, I go. Hey.
Yes, please.
How are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
Been better. been better, but I'll get there again.
Yeah.
So, as you know, last time I saw you, it was in Vegas, and I was looking for a new source of income so I can support my ads, because I wasn't running ads since March. So my victory is getting a full-time job so
Yeah.
I can support my business. It is really hard to go back to work. It is very energy draining, and it's insane because I can vouch for it. If any one of you don't have that experience to go backwards, the whole year I was changing myself to become a better person and my personal values and building my business and coming back to a real life work. I can see the huge gap between where I was last year and when I'm this year. I'm back in retail the same like I was last year. And the view on, not a negative view on job, I don't have negative view on job. I look at it as an source of income and something to help me to achieve my larger goal and purpose in life. But the way how people who are still in retail and in workforce are looking at it, and their mentality, and how obvious it is to me now when I was gone for a year and changing my mindset. It's actually very helpful for me to go back, because it will help me to improve my ad and my view on how people are actually thinking when they are at work, and the mentality. Because the first time I step into being independent and working from home and everything, I was practically repeating what you guys taught me in the videos. And I wasn't there, I was learning through the year. So, in mindset, a year ago I wasn't there. Now I am, and I can compare that to going back. So all these things I see as a win-win, which I can use for a future building up, my ads, my business, my approach to clients, with phone calls, with giving them what we're offering them, the opportunity which we have and change their lives and all that. So a lot of stuff, I see differently.
Well, that's great. And so how do you obviously we know how your perspective has changed looking backward.
Yeah. You froze, but go ahead.
Sorry about that. So obviously your perspective's changed looking backwards. Now looking forwards, though, how much more are you motivated to change that situation? How much more motivated are you to design your future?
I am definitely motivated. I definitely don't want this lifestyle to be like that forever. What I'm in at the moment, working again. Though, I do need it, because I need to support myself. I'm by myself, and I have to, support my business and, pay for the ads and everything. So it's also harder, because now since I'm working full time, my energy level is much lower. So, lower energy, you have to work twice as hard to really do everything to run your business, and to also go to work, wake up, be there on alert on your feet all day. Your feet are hurting, your back is hurting. So you're really, getting a lot of ammunition and appreciation for being independent business owner and being able in the future, or to being able to do what you really want to do, to take your own life in your own hands, and to change it for better, and to have that opportunity. So I mean, just by living that, I think I'm gonna be even a better ambassador to voice that for the people who really want to change their life and who really want to, you know, have their dream come true. And you froze again, Kevin.
Yeah, he is frozen.
Yes, thank
Kevin,
you.
you might have to come out and come back in. You have a pissed off look on your face.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's really serious there.
It's really serious. He's really absorbing what you're saying, Susanna.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin, so much for feeling.
It's either that or Mel's in the background.
I appreciate it.
He's just grumpy.
It's that's not possible. You guys know this. Go ahead, Susanna.
So you have any question for me?
No, I was just. Did you have anything to
Yeah.
pick up on that, or does anyone have anything to say to Susanna about her experience?
Well, I know for one, Susanna, I work 10 hours a day at work. I might get on the computer every once in a while I'm there, but not very often. I'm feeling the same struggle. I come home, I get on here, and I do what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I keep that thought in mind, knowing that this is just a means to an end. Just keeping that thought in mind.
That too. There was also one of video I'm listening on the way to work, and the very, very important thing, you know, it's to really have your vision set up, you know, like we are learning it here too, you know, in our trainings, but, you know, again, you know, to sit down, you know, and have the visions re-evaluated once a while every time, because, you know, our visions, we get to a certain point and then we're growing and our visions improve, and, you know, we really see who we want to be and where we want to be, you know, in our lives and our purpose. So, you know, the important things, you know, in any of your lives. But, you know, for me, I see, like, in my life when I'm going through the hardship, it's really keep that vision, you know, in front of me, and, you know, and sit down and write it down and remind myself, you know, it's even more important to me that, you know, who I want to be and where I want to be, you know, in next 6 months, next year, and, you know, for the rest of my life, who I want to be.
Yeah,
So
100%.
The mission, your life mission.
That's great, Susanna, because there are a lot of people that will come across challenges like that where they've had to go back to work, or they've, you know, in a situation that they aren't excited about, right? You're not passionate about being back to work. You're not excited about being back in retail. Retail is tough. You know, and once you've had time off, you've had freedom, it's tough to have that freedom taken away. And you have the right mindset, though, Susanna, because you're looking at your current situation and circumstance and saying, this is exactly why I need to work harder on my future, work harder on myself, and have more conviction and more dedication and more discipline to creating that future. Because there's a lot of people in the world that would be in your situation and be like, oh, you know what? Didn't work out. I got to go to work. Maybe I am just, hey, you know what? Maybe I can't make it happen. Some other people would take it really personally and say, oh, you know what? I'm a loser. I'm a failure. I can't do it. And they just give up. They, you know, throw their hands up in the air and they give up.
Can
So,
I ask you?
You've got the right mindset, Susanna, is looking at the future.
And having your mission, you know, in mind, you know, what you want to really be. Yeah.
That's right. Sorry, Trudy, was that you? You wanted to add to that?
No, it was me.
Oh, Kyla.
For me, like, I had to go back to work as well, and not in retail, but as a massage therapist. And the difference was, before when I was working and then in the business, I was afraid to speak about what I'm doing, about the water, even though I know it benefits the clients and stuff. And now that I'm back, I'm like, fuck this. You know what? I'm going to tell you about the water. I'm going to tell you about the business. And if you want a part of it, all power to you. If you want me to bring you samples of water the next time you come in for a visit, awesome. If not, whatever. Like, I'm still going to treat you with the same respect. So with you going back into retail, yeah, temporarily it sucks, but at the same time, look at all of your potential leads or people that you can now approach. And, you know, I know in the Magic back office, you can get like the little tiny spray bottles with the water for your face and for toning. You know, like you can go to the dollar store and buy the same kind of spray bottle. And if someone's commenting on your skin, give them a sample. So, I mean, it gives you an outlet and another source of a way to reach without actually having to spend a whole lot of ad budget. So
yeah, that is an awesome idea that Kyla, I really love that idea too. I mean to mention that, you know, in retail, you know, I see 20 people a day. So can you imagine if I can turn, you know, from 20 people, maybe 5 people a day into buyer, right? So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great feedback. And yeah, Kyla, I just about washed my own mouth with soap after hearing you. But no, that's awesome. And Kyla, just how you spoke right now, I hope that is how you speak to leads, and I hope that is how you will speak on your marketing. And I'm not saying you have to throw an F-bomb, but the conviction in your voice, that's exactly what you need to be successful in anything. Not just this, in anything.
Yeah, no, it's coming for sure. I'm a trucker at home. I just, you know, in different environments and stuff, it's, you know, you use the F-bomb when you need to get a point, right? Like, if I swore all the time in here, then obviously you wouldn't have had the reaction that I got just now by saying fuck, right? So I use it accordingly and when it's needed or around, you know, certain professions. So.
Awesome. Great share, Kyla. So excited for you. Love your share from last weekend as well. Who else has a victory to share?
Well, I'll go, I guess, since I'm on a roll.
There you go. Yes, Kyla.
So I have, I'm talking to 3 leads, and one lead, I used to babysit her actually, and she's all about waste reduction. And
She saved us from the baby screams.
so
Awesome.
I mentioned the water to her and how like it can reduce a lot of her waste because it replaces all of the harsh chemicals. It saves the environment. And so she's looking into the water aspect and how it can help. And then she's also going to come over and show us how to be more mindful of our waste. So that's exciting because I've, you know, up until this point, I've been scared shitless to approach my warm market. And now it's like, no, you know what? It's me that has to pay my bills. And it's just like, I don't really care what people think so much.
Good. And don't ever care what people think. You know, I was listening to a podcast today. It was Gary Vee being interviewed by, I think it's Tim or Tom Billio. Billio, he co-founded Quest Nutrition. So Quest bars, you know, they're like now a multi-billion-dollar company, and he's had a lot of he's building his personal brand as well to make an impact. And they just talked about how Gary Vee is very, very neutral when it comes to being emotionally tied to a result. He doesn't care. He's like, I know what my mission is. I know what my goal is. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to provide value for people. And if they don't like it, I don't care. Like, you know what? It's he states it in a way, like he uses that example of him being very emotionally developed because he's super competitive. And he says that he will not ever allow his kids who are like 10 years old, ever allow them to win in a game of video games or sports. He's like, nope, they got to learn. They got to learn to be tough. And, you know, you just brought that memory out because, you know, when we become more certain of what we stand for, we care less about whether somebody's going to tell us if we're crazy, can't tell us we're not going to do well, tell us that we can't go far. None of it matters. None of it should matter, right? They're not building your business. They're not paying your bills. They're not putting food on the table. They're not putting your kids through school. You know, be so certain in what you're doing here and look around, look at the evidence of how many people we've been able to impact already through this business, this platform, this community, this family. Nothing should hold you back from sharing with other people. Absolutely nothing. And when you get to that point, you might not be there yet, but when you get to that point, you can talk to anybody about it. That's when you know you will be unstoppable. Unstoppable. So, zero fucks are given. That's right. And hi, Diane. Everybody say hi to Diane. We haven't met Diane yet. But yes, she is prettier than Ron. So who else is Victory? We got Ed and Joanne and Megan on the phone or on the line now. Costas just joined. Who else would like to share a victory, guys? Or let's go over some challenges. Let's go over some challenges in your business this week. What has been prevalent in your businesses this week? What's holding you back? Who's at a lesson, a challenge? Remus, we haven't heard from you, and thank you for the barbecue last week, Remus. Really appreciate that. Would love to hear from any of the people that I've named.
I have a victory. Can I just say that?
Yes, of course.
Well, I don't know if it's a victory for sure, but I did a video ad, and my first one. I don't know if anybody's seen it. Probably not, because I eliminated everybody from GAC. Anyway, I did it, so I'm doing another story ad tonight because I haven't had a chance to get out and do another video ad. So anyway, that's kind of my victory, or that is my victory.
Nice. Great job, Trudy. I love seeing all your ads out there.
Thank you, Kevin.
I do see them. I haven't seen the video ad yet, though, but bravo to you on getting your first video ad out.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would say Trudy has another victory. Maybe you forgot, but if you guys have noticed, she started doing her own quotes. So she's been going out there and creating content and taking photos and really stepping out of her comfort zone and being more creative in her business and doing things that she normally wasn't comfortable to do. So, Trudy, I just want to give you a big, high 10, because I'm seeing your posts and you're creating quotes and you're learning how to use a new app, a new program. Like, these are all things that we do to step up our game as marketers. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results, that's not going to happen. But, you finally got into a place where you said, you know what, I really got to change things up. I got to do things different. You weren't comfortable doing videos. I know that I've tried to encourage you for a long time, and I knew it's a matter of time before you have to say, feel it for yourself and make that choice. For some of you who may be afraid of doing videos, it's just a choice. So Doing the quotes, again, that's something you're gonna grow. You're gonna build a brand in. You're gonna continue to build that and find your niche and find your favorite font and colors and style. And eventually, people will see that over and over, and they'll be like, "Hey, that's Trudy. That's Trudy's quote. That's Trudy's quote." People are gonna start sharing it. That's you building your brand. So that takes time. But I just wanted to ask you, Trudy, what was the turning point for you when you finally decided to go make the video? Because this was a big one for you, because it's been months, and I know you did it in the beginning and you hated it. And we've had these conversations. So what was the turning point this time around where you felt better about it?
I don't know that I did feel better about it. I just forced myself to do it because you know, you have to do what you're uncomfortable doing. So I guess that was the turning point for me. What I just kept saying, I have to do this. I have to do this. And so I took a Saturday. It was warm, and I mean, the bugs were terrible. I mean, you could just see them swarming around me. But yeah, no, I just bit the bullet and did it. And, you know, I was out there most of the day, and then just all of a sudden it was just like my creative, something just took over me. I turned the camera on, or I turned my phone on, and I just started talking. Yes. And it was coming from the heart.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you know, it wasn't what some other people would do, but for me it was good because it was from the heart, and I talked, and I was very aware of not saying or, you know, I was very aware of that. I thought of Kevin and how well he spoke. I was thinking of him when I was doing it. So anyway, yeah,
That's so awesome. I'm so glad you shared that. And I hope you share that video link into our group so we can all see what you did and accolade and put some love on there. One thing I want to share with everyone, I remember, and I'm not sure if you used this, but it sounds to me like you did. One thing that I suggested to Trudy is I said, always have your equipment ready. Like, do things you love every day. You know, Trudy has a hobby farm. She loves her animals big time. She loves being outdoor and taking care of their property and just enjoying the outdoors. That's something, gardening, like that's something she's passionate about. So I suggested, go do the things you're passionate about. Forget that you're doing business. Forget that you're creating content. Have your equipment on standby everywhere you go. And that moment you feel inspired, you have the equipment right there ready to grab your selfie stick, your tripod, use your arm pod, right? And do a video. And, you know, I believe from what you shared, that's pretty much exactly the scenario you got yourself in. So, you know, for those of you who feel like you lack inspiration or to do a video, do things you love and have your equipment on standby. Think about, the gentlemen who work for the news. They're just driving around in the van, and they could be just, you know, stopping for lunch somewhere at their favorite place, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happens as they park their vehicle. Boom, their equipment's right there. They take the camera, ready, set, live, right? And now that's going into the news, right, for all of us to see. So you're just like that, because as a CEO of your own business, you have multiple positions in your business. You're the production person, you're the writer, you're the editor. You understand what I'm saying? You're the creative director. Like, you wear all these hats. So have your equipment with you at all times, because you never know when that moment of inspiration kicks in, and you don't have to go, oh crap, I left my tripod in the house or in the car, or, you know, it's right there. And that makes you a ready, set, go marketer. So hopefully that helps everyone else too. But Trudy, I'm so proud of you that you did that, and you did it when you just said, I had just a moment of creativity, and you were ready, and that's where it comes from. So I'm very proud of you.
Chris, when you watch that video, the picture in the front, was it a picture of me going, or was it?
Not that I noticed.
or was it a
The
good?
video started immediately when as soon as I scrolled to that spot, I think the video started right away. So there wasn't a static picture at the front, I don't think.
Okay, because I struggled like all week, like trying to post that with a thumbnail.
Okay.
Like, thumbnail picture, and it still shows up like in my ads manager as me going like this.
What? I'll go look right now. Did you post it on your page or on your personal page?
It's on my personal page.
I'll go take a look.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I thought, oh well, what the heck? Maybe they'll think I'm praying to the gods or something.
Hey, your image, your thumbnail, if that catches somebody's attention, that's great.
That's what I thought.
Right? They said there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? So that, if you get publicity because of the thumbnail on your video, that's great because it's eye catching. You want eyeballs on your ad.
Tammy
So
and
it's not a
Trudy,
bad thing, Trudy.
just wanted to say that my green light just went on with what you guys just said. Thank you.
Your pixel?
No, building your brand and what my brand is.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
That's the key, I think, to me. And I don't know if it's the key to everyone else, but man, that's huge.
Well, I mean, that is the most powerful thing in marketing is having a brand.
Yeah.
Having a brand, and it doesn't mean it's a name. It doesn't mean it's a logo, right? It's more of a presence.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's a voice. What do you stand for? Your marketing has to be congruent. McDonald's isn't all of a sudden going to come out with, well, you never know, but they come out with the healthiest vegan meals. That's probably, that take half an hour to prepare. That doesn't make sense. It's not congruent with their brand. Right? What is that brand, Remus? Do you know?
I kind of know. I'm going to work on it tomorrow.
Okay, you don't want to share yet?
It's actually quite exciting.
Good. Do you want us?
No, but what's that?
Do you want us to give us a sneak peek at what it is?
You know what? Over my career, I always like working with younger people. Do you know what I mean? So I always in all my departments, I always gave opportunity to younger people because they are our future for sure, right? So what my brand is mentoring, leadership, things like that kids, I think, or young adults really look up to, just like yourself,
Awesome.
Kevin. So I think that's what, and if you can build that brand, even around like the picture I posted on Facebook at the golf course the other day, I think that's what will drive a lot of this brand.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm excited now. I'm glad we talked about that.
Well, you should have been excited before, but we're glad you're excited now.
Yeah.
Trudy,
No, that's good.
I think I found it. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's not as bad as I thought it was based on what you were doing a minute ago on camera here. It's not that bad at all. It just looks like you're in the middle of a passionate sentence, so I wouldn't worry about it. And the video starts right away as soon as you hit play. So
I couldn't get rid of that darn thing. Because the picture I had was a good picture of me, but then, yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. It's not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, welcome all of you latecomers. I know you guys had the VIP coaching session with Landon and Stabe, so welcome. What kind of victories or shares do you guys have? What kind of takeaways do you guys have from the last week? Victories, challenges. Colton, Chris, Ryan, Liz, Joanne, Costas.
Well, I've had a couple of positives in that I'm actually getting leads compared to 0 leads that I've had for a really long time. So that's been really great.
Amazing, Chris.
Yeah, I had 3 leads in one day, and then that's it. That's all I've had for a while. I don't. But it's something, right? And it just to me says that I'm moving forward, and that makes me really excited, and I'm going in the right direction. And I really liked the Transformation Tuesday thing where they were talking about your origin story, reaching out to people with your origin story. I like that a lot, so I'm working on an ad on that right now.
Beautiful. Great job, Chris. Always consistently taking action, always consistently showing up, and always consistently leveling up too, Chris. You're
I may be
amazing. You
slow, but
truly
I'm
are.
going. That's all I care about. I'm just
Okay.
I'm going. Slow, but I'm going.
Success is not a sprint. It is not a race. It's a marathon. Who can stick out the success path longest? Those are the people that win.
And actually, that's something that, I mean, I'm assuming I'm allowed to say it because they asked us to do a post on our #1 takeaways. But on the event or on the mastermind just now, they said, who are the people that win in business? Who are the people who are successful? And it's the people who simply stay in. It's the people who can stick it out past the hard stuff and past the not getting the leads and not getting the sales right away and learning and growing, and they stick it out. So that was just another reason for me to say I'm on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it's also, I want to provide this perspective as well, because there's a lot of people out there that have had success and then have it taken away, and they're not willing to stick through those challenges either, right? You know, there's people that we know, like I know one of Julian's guys, he was making like 10, 15 grand a month, got his ad account shut down, never put up another ad.
Wow, that's
either was lazy or just, you know, just wasn't able to handle that adversity. The ability to handle adversity. So this was obviously last week, chapter 5, but the ability to handle adversity and solve problems, that's a defining characteristic of being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Producers can produce, but you know, little shit, that'll take them out of the game. A leader sticks to it. A leader is a person that sticks by their team, sticks by the people, sticks by the program, the community, and stays planted, whether things are going well or not. Like that is the sign of a true leader. That is why people will follow you guys, is because you will stick with it, if you stick with it. And I'm gonna put it out there that you will. But again, that decision up to you is not up to me. So make that decision and that commitment to yourself to say, hey, I am going to be here come hell or high water. I've got everything that I have right now, everything that we stand for. It's an alignment. This is the direction I'm going with. These are the people I'm doing it with. This is the community I'm doing it with. And because of that alignment, that's how we become unstoppable. That's how we go far. Not just fast. Nobody cares about fast. Fast is flashy, right? It's like cash, you know, like it's flashy. But that's not what true success and true wealth is about. You talk to Warren Buffett, he's like, gaining wealth is boring. And not that we would ever get to talk to Warren Buffett, maybe, but you know, he's a guy that is in his 80s now, worth $70 billion. And he's like, investing is boring. Compound. What do we do? Market. Level up as leaders. Always growing as leaders, not just producers. You know, we had a call earlier today. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say something that literally came to mind within the past minute just now was that I've said to a couple of people, yes, there's adversity going on in my life right now, but I feel very calm about it now. And I've just really realized that is, I'm in alignment. Like that just hit me. That's cool. I didn't know how to feel that before.
Awesome. That's a testament to how much you've grown. Awesome. Who else has a victory to share or a challenge?
I go.
Yeah, Ed, go ahead, man.
That was pretty cool because when we got the chance to look through my ad and we did a little bit of adjustments or whatnot, I actually went out and posted them out again. I'm actually getting a little bit more engagement, more likes than actually comments. But I'm starting to get like private comments, I guess you can kind of say, of saying like what I'm actually doing. They're kind of interested. I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly or wrong. I kind of want to get you guys' input, but I kind of tell them to watch the masterclass first and see if they got any like, something that they got, like something that they like about it, and then come back to me and see if, we can move forward from that. I don't know if I'm doing that correctly or not. I just pretty much just kept telling them, saying thank you for liking my ad. If they have any more questions, to come back to me. Stuff like that I'm doing. I'm gauging back to them. But,
yeah.
When they're asking for more info, I just tell them to go straight into the masterclass, and if they have any more further questions, to reach out to me. I don't know if I'm doing that correctly or not. I just want some input.
Awesome. Anybody have some feedback for Ed? Anybody has feedback for him? No? Well, Ed, what we can do is we can look at your ad. And I think that if you're doing post engagement, like if people are messaging you, one of the best things to do is to focus on them. Ask them questions. And it doesn't have to be really business-like. Some people get results by saying, hey, this is what I need from you. This is what you need to do, and really qualify. And that works for certain personalities. And for most people, though, it doesn't. So if you focus on them and ask, hey, how are you? Hey, call them by name. Hey, Joe, how are you, my man, my friend? Great to hear from you. Hey, first off, let me commend you for reaching out to me, because I know that can be intimidating to reach out to a stranger online, but taking a step in the direction of creating a new opportunity so that you can design a life of fortune and freedom. May I ask, what was it about my post that compelled you to comment and reach out to me today? And get them talking. And you know what? Some people will not respond, but the people that are going to respond are the people that understand you have a genuine interest. Number one, you're a nice guy. Genuine interest in you wanting to know why they want to do something, why they want to do something different. And just let them talk. Some people will give you a long explanation. Some people give you a short one and just say, hey, that's fantastic. I'm actually looking to coach and help people in your situation create more time freedom and financial independence.
Right.
Would you say that you're coachable and teachable? Are you open-minded to learning new skills? And if they say yes, you're affirming. You say, hey, fantastic. I've got a couple of steps for you. So now you can give them the masterclass and then follow up. Or you can do a long test message that describes what we do and then do a follow-up as well, right? That's a little bit more of a hands-on approach.
Right.
Some people like that. Some people don't, right? If you're budget conscious, spend the time and energy. If you don't care about your budget and you're okay with spending, a couple $100 per sale or more, then send to the webinar, hands off, and just let the system do its job.
Right.
Do you follow the Transformational Tuesday stuff, Ed? Have you for a while?
Yeah. I always catch the replays when I try to implement.
I'd have to look for it a little bit, but I know Landon and States gave a sort of a really loose script on how to follow up with people as well. And it's a pretty hands-off approach, like Kevin was saying. It was very like, here's the webinar. And then I've also got some notes on things that I've taken from Tammy, things I've taken from Ange Carboni, just bits and pieces that I've picked up over the year that I've been doing this, and I could send you bits and pieces of some notes if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. If I can have a little bit more confidence on replying back to them, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I flat out stole it. I'm not going to take responsibility for any of the words, but thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Ange. But it's the key I found in starting a conversation that feels really fluid is just making it your own conversation. Like Tammy uses different words than I use when she talks, and it works really well for her. But if I tried to copy her words exactly, it doesn't work because that's not who I am as a person. So you have to make the ideas, take the ideas, but make them your own.
Right. Yeah.
Eduardo, are you having any issues getting the first response after you send a message?
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear you. The service is pretty bad.
No, I was just curious with. Sorry, guys, I'm pretty new at this, but I have a little background. Are you having any issues when you send out your first message, getting an answer back from them to start the communication?
No, not really. I just pretty much when they tell me what am I doing or what is it that I do, I just tell them, well, what is that got you interested in my ad? What got what got you more involved in it? And I just tell them thank you for liking my ad, and if they can explain to me. And then after that, it just stops for a little bit. And then not so long ago, someone came to me and told me, well, I liked it because, you had the freedom, the time and everything. And I saw the struggles that where I'm at right now at work and, what I'm trying to build off of it. So that's the only thing that I got from one person. And then after that, that was it. It was done.
I sent a reply to, or actually, after when somebody said they were interested in one of my ads, I came up with this bullshit thing in my head, and I wrote it down. I went, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And I copied and pasted, and I sent it to them. And I've been sending this to every I target a blue collar market. So I've been sending this opening line because it works so well with one person to everybody. I'm getting about an 80 to 90%. Wow, this guy's pretty cool. I want to talk to this guy. And basically I'll read it out for you if you want. I basically say, thank you for my comment. First thing I want to say is I'm a no bullshit kind of blue collar worker guy. You don't have the time. Let me read this out properly so I can actually see it. You don't have the time for crap and fairy tales, and it doesn't benefit you or me. So do me a favor and ask any questions you have, and I will give you an honest answer. That's the That is my promise to you, and I will ask for the same in return. If that's good with you, can I ask you a few questions? I'm getting good response from it. It's just I'm being me, and I'm speaking from me.
Right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Did that give you some feedback there, Ed?
Oh yeah. Appreciate it.
Awesome. And hit me up, Ed, if you want some more feedback, more detail on your ad and your responses. We can bounce some ideas back and forth if you'd like. I'm sure everybody else would as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome, Ed. Who else has a good follow-up sequence? Any other ideas? Any other challenges?
I do a lot of follow-up sequence. I actually play a lot with different questions, posture. I'm a very postured entrepreneur. I did a lot of organic posts on my own personal wall, and was just really paying attention to how to engage more and more with my own social network, because yes, part of organic marketing is going into different Facebook groups and then having conversations with people who are posting, making comments that are relatable to the post in those groups. But I looked at it as I kind of already have a group on my own wall, because I've been on Facebook for well over a decade. I mean, since 2006, right? And I don't have 5,000 followers, and I don't need that right now. But I figured, why don't I just test that? I'll test my own organic market and just post like an entrepreneur, but with class, and just change my wording. And I've had a good 8 people come back to me, just, you know, hey, what are you working on? And some of them are people I'm like, I don't even remember adding you as a friend at one point, because I could have added them 3 years ago for all I know, right? But they watch. And then I learned, well, if I go on their wall, comment on their posts, I'm paying it forward, right? It's a give and take, right? The best way to say like anytime someone posts on your wall, or sorry, comments on your post, thank them by going back to their wall and doing the same in return, because now you're changing the trajectory of where Facebook is putting you amongst the millions of other people on Facebook, right? You're being social in Facebook, and I'm telling you, that's what Facebook wants. They want you to be social. A rule that I learned is always comment with a minimum of 3 words. That actually helps. I don't even remember what the word is. Sorry, it's like I'm having a blank moment. But it puts you out there more with Facebook. So I spoke to a lady, she's from Nigeria, and she was very direct, like, what is it that you do? And I said, you know, obviously affiliate marketing. And I said, thank you for commenting on my post. And I asked the question, you know, what has you looking at an online business right now, right? And she said, well, I have various reasons, but can you share more information with me? And I said, no, because I'd rather get to know you first. I'm very respectful of my business and my community. And it's very important for me that you are a match, that you're going to enjoy the community we have, the culture we have, the type of work that we do, and that you will blend in with that community. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions? And then I pretty much ask the same questions. I'll share it in the group. I've taken ideas and suggestions from Angela. I've adjusted and tweaked my own that I've used over the years as well. Like everything we learn is borrowed knowledge and skill. That's how all entrepreneurs grow. They borrow something they learned from another entrepreneur somewhere else, right? So it's a mishmash of all of that. And she was actually, you know, can't you just tell me what it is? Yes, but it doesn't matter what it is if you're not a fit. And I'm here to identify whether you're a fit so I don't waste your time or my time. That is how I do business. If you don't like this manner of how I do business, which is the initial conversation, then we are not a fit. And I'm not afraid to say no to people. I'm not afraid to turn people away, because from experience, folks, the people that you just give every time they ask, you are totally taking away your power as the CEO of your business. That's the person, I assure you, who's going to eventually, at some point, if they even enroll, they're going to be breathing down your neck every day, coming up with every problem, and they're going to expect you to bend at their demands on a daily basis. They're going to be messaging you 24/7, expecting you to respond right away. These are habits, but how you start that relationship, that conversation, is also going to be the energy of how that person is going to start their business and join our community. So Chris made a good point earlier. All of us speak differently. I've got so many years of experience as an entrepreneur. I have a higher level of posture, confidence in some areas. In some areas, I'm like, I have no idea how to say this or how to respond. And I turn to, my coaches and my support system and saying, okay, this is a curveball for me. How would I address this one or respond to this one, right? Again, always being a student and always being a leader at the same time, right? So Ed, even though I give you my script, and my script is just a baseline. That's just a go-to point, and I edit it all the time. I may edit a sentence, some wording, because I kind of tend to feel the energy of who I'm talking to. I actually will go to their Facebook and I'll kind of see the energy on what are their posts. Because literally I'm interviewing people who are going to join me in my multi-billion-dollar business for the next 5 to 10 years plus. Do I want somebody that has, you know, gangbanger videos on Facebook, negative posts, bashing other people? Absolutely not, right? I actually take the time to do that. Some people don't have time to do that. So there's no cookie cutter Q&A. You can still use the same questions I use, Ed, for example, but when you send it, I want you to read it and feel it for yourself. Even though you send the exact same question to your lead as I would, your own vibration has to come across into that conversation. It really does. Or just tweak a few words where you feel like, you know, I like that question Tammy asked, but I would say it this way. I might use this word instead of that word. You know, I might say, hi, Julia, how are you? You might say, yo, Julia, what's up, right? Because that may be how you speak. So when you do that, use it only as a template, as a guide, but always respond with your own personality. Because the second they actually meet you on phone or Zoom, or they join the community and they see like, that Ed guy doesn't talk anything like we did in the chat, right? So I hope that makes sense. And sorry, I kind of went off a little bit on a tangent, but I hope that helps.
Tammy, actually, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy.
You made a very good point when it comes to looking at profiles. In my full-time job, before I ever hire anybody, the first thing I do is look at their Facebook. You know, why does my business deserve any less attention? And also, if they have an open feed, you can learn a lot about that person before you ever talk to them. They love dogs. Hey, oh, sorry, my dog's barking in the background. You can start all kinds of conversations.
Awesome. That's awesome, Ron. Did that make sense?
That is important. You know, you'll notice most of your Facebook haters, which you'll get, they don't have a picture of themselves. They don't have, you know, like those are the keyboard warriors that you probably want to stay away from. But also that's where your personal branding comes into play. You know, when you talk about your brand on your fan page and your personal page, what type of content are you putting out there? Right? Are you just do you have some motivational posts, but then have, you know, the funniest America's Got Talent like outtake as well? You know, if you want to be seen as a serious business person, as a public figure, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I would recommend that you keep the entertainment to a minimum and that you provide value, motivation, and inspiration. I don't know about you guys, but I know that if I come across somebody's feed and they've got inspirational posts, they've got videos from YouTube like TED Talks, Goalcast, anything that's educational or inspirational, then that gives me an idea that's somebody I want to work with. But if they're constantly posting cat pictures or funny memes or worse, dumb viral videos, and they're just sharing that all the time, that's the type of person I don't want to work with, because I can tell they're spending most of their mental energy on being entertained versus being educated. You know that there's a difference, right? You know that there's a difference when you come across somebody like that. So,
isn't it? I'm not sure that I 100% agree with that, and it's a conversation that I've had with some other people. So, is there not sort of a mix depending on your personality? Like, I'm somebody who's a bit of a jokester, and I think I actually get very little feedback from people when I do nothing but value posts, what I would consider value posts. I get way more feedback from people in both likes and comments when I do, you know, stuff that shows my personality, which is a little bit goofier than yours, right?
Oh yeah, it has to be individualized. But again, it's you are also, you know, you're getting liked in posts because those are the people that you have associated and networked with, and they probably like a lot of those same things, right? Where I'm at, you know, if I post on my page something comical, it doesn't get a lot because I've spent the last few years just diving into entrepreneurship and business, and that's literally the only people that engage with me now are business-oriented, business-minded people. But that's been years of, you know, a year's worth of a process. So you get to design your social. That is 100% your design, and whatever you get engagement with, that's who you're attracting. So again, just be mindful of it. Where if you have a purpose to share entertainment, and that's congruent with who you are, the type of brand that you want to put out, absolutely. You know, for me, you know, per part of my brand and the brand that I'm building, I want to attract very serious, very high level people that they're focused more on business accomplishment, achievement, and not necessarily entertainment. And entertainment is not. Do I like being entertained? Of course, we all do, but I don't outwardly share it. I don't spend a lot of time on TV. I don't do those things, and that's just my personal choice. So I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. I'm saying find what is congruent with who you are, but also knowing that what you put out there is what you're going to attract as well. Right?
Yeah,
Does that make sense, everybody?
I'm thinking for myself, I like working with both types of people, both people who are, you know, like Joanne and I have a great working relationship, and she's obviously got an awesome sense of humor. She's very funny. And then I obviously get lots of value from you too, which is a completely different set. So yeah, I just wanted to be clear on that, I guess.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, is, you know, if for me, for example, I've been in networking for years. I've worked in the corporate world for years. I would be more likely to click on a post that Kevin posted, only because for me, he would share the same things that catch my eye. That I always like things that have to do with personal development, leadership, growth. That actually, it really excites me, right? More so than the cat memes, so to speak. And I love cat memes, so, you know, and I'm like that too. I have two kind of personalities in the sense. I have my very fun, funny, laid back, goofball side of me because I'm a human being, right? And Kevin has a side of him like that too. I've seen it. But what Kevin is looking for specifically, he's going to actually create that energy, so he attracts that. For me, I have a bit of a balance. So some of my posts will be a little bit funny, but I'm very cognizant and aware of what level of humor and what level of business am I going to put. I kind of create a balance where maybe I'll put two really good value posts, including like a story. You know, maybe I'm feeling like compelled to write, oh man, you know, I remember the days where blah, 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 blah. And then I start sharing, right? And then I created kind of a story, which I learned from Chris Stapleton. And then, you know, I'll have posts of my lifestyle. So if I'm out at a pub with friends, that's what I enjoy doing. So I want to post that because that's going to help me attract people who are laid back or happy to sit at a pub or barbecue with friends. Like, so I really incorporate my lifestyle. And in the past, I can look back 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago to my Facebook, and it was like recipes. It looked like Pinterest, right? It wasn't a social place, and Facebook is meant to be social. If I want to go see pictures and quotes, I go right to Pinterest, right? So being aware of what social media avenue you're using and what you're putting there as content is going to help you attract that person. So I I didn't take it as what Kevin meant is don't follow any people who have that stuff on their wall. It's if it's congruent to how you are, great. If it's not, probably not going to be a match. You're going to talk, you're not going to speak the same language, you won't be on the same page. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to have a fluent conversation going with that prospect, if that makes sense.
Can I just real quickly piggyback off the piggyback, just because Chris brought me up there? What I tend to try and do is, what I tend to do is, when it comes to straight value post, it's straight value post. But when it comes to bringing my personality out, my charisma out, obviously I'm funny, right? So I try. Obviously. So I put in value posts more often than not. I create humor in a value post, because that's what people get. Like, that's how people perceive me, is like they see me as, oh, I'm probably going to say something funny. So I actually added the value part into my humor instead of the other way around. Instead of adding humor into value, I added the value part into already being funny. And that seems to work for me personally. I just wanted to let you know that, Chris, just because you name dropped me there. Anyways, and I get your humor.
I just name drop you wherever I can, Joanne.
Oh, I love you. You're name dropping all over.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Joanne. We are 10 minutes over the hour. Can everybody hear me? Oh, can anybody hear me? Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Sorry, I must have froze for a bit there. We're 10 minutes over the hour, guys. Who's read chapter 6? Okay, what kind of takeaways we have from chapter 6? It's a big one. Again, another one is attitude. What is the attitude that we bring to the table? The leadership discussion. Love to hear your takeaways from chapter 6.
Hey, why don't I start again?
Yeah, go for it.
As I was reading it and I was thinking about what we were going to be talking about tonight, I was thinking, well, I don't feel like I'm learning anything new per se. I feel like I'm hearing or reinforcing the things I already know in this one. The things that really spoke to me the most, though, were just very close to the end of the chapter when he was talking about the commitment is key thing that he has laminated that he takes with him everywhere he goes. I mean, I can read it if you want me to, but that was the thing. And the Lion Chasers manifesto I thought was really cool as well. Those are both really inspiring writings.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. The Lion Chasers manifesto is amazing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Very powerful. Okay, who else has takeaways?
What people might need that they won't openly ask for. So really being aware of the needs of your team, the people you're working with, and really being servant driven isn't just a word. For me, it's part of my DNA, and I think it was just part of my upbringing, because to this day I could always say my mom would take the shirt off of her back for anyone, even though she didn't make a lot of money. She would have to work sometimes 2-3 jobs just to raise 2 daughters, right? So she was a servant-driven parent in that sense. And so I really look at this chapter. It really touched home for me because as I was reading it, I was reminded of the values of my own upbringing, which is to always be in service to others, to always think about what do other people need from you, because the more you serve, the more you receive, but don't serve with the expectation to receive. And be careful of what you expect to receive. For me, the only thing I expect to receive is just thank you. And I hope what I shared added value to your life, maybe to your day, maybe to an experience, a moment, a challenge, a struggle. And it's about being authentic about that. I think in the beginning of the chapter, he talked about not focusing on like positions or titles, seeing things from the point of view of other people as well. That's also being servant driven. Is it's not about what my needs are, it's about what someone else's needs are, and being able to give whatever you have within yourself to others. And I don't know about you guys, but giving is the biggest gift. If I didn't have the capacity to give to others, I don't even know why I'm here. Because I don't know anybody who walks through life selfishly and can be grateful for anything, right? So, and I think it's really about building communities to believe and see into their own strength and their own desires to give back. And when I said, you know, there's people out there who they don't know how to ask for help, and try to be that sounding board and put yourself out there to open that door. You know, oftentimes I'll pay attention to the energy and the vibration of somebody's posts, whether it's on their wall or whether it's in a chat group. And if I feel like, I don't know, some of you guys might have your little inner spidey senses. And sometimes my little spidey senses kind of go up and I'm like, something's sideways here. I'm just feeling a different energy. And I'll send a private message to that person and say, hey, you know, how's it going today? And more often than not, they're like, oh my God, I've had such a crappy week or a day. And then it opens up the room for them to get that off their chest. Because if I didn't do that, they might go for who knows how long struggling with that feeling and not getting a sense of resolve and able to move forward, right? So for those of you who ever feel that, just that spidey sense, reach out to someone, whether it's a colleague, a friend, a relative, you know what I mean? The cashier at the grocery store, you might feel like maybe she's feeling off. Maybe she just needs one person to smile at her because everybody complained. Maybe she was begging slow, or the debit machine wasn't working and she had to keep calling the manager for assistance. And you're the 20th customer and she's praying you're not the 20th customer that's going to flex attitude with her over something that's not in her control, but she still has to stand there and take it, right? Being servant to that person, and again, this isn't just in business, being servant to others should be part of your everyday, how you behave, how you think, how you feel, and how you give back to everybody around you. Just giving that smile and saying, wow, isn't it a beautiful day outside? You know, I had a tough time finding a parking spot, but I'm sure glad I did because I got everything I needed, and I hope you're having a great day, you know? And sometimes they'll just smile and say nothing, but you can see their posture change. And sometimes they'll say, oh my God, I've had so many customers like cranky today and we've had problems with our debit. And then I'll just say something positive, like, yeah, you know, technology's funny that way, but you know what? Just keep smiling at people because smiles are contagious. And if you keep giving it and, you know, give them some encouragement. There's many ways to be servant driven. It's not just in business, but when you adopt it day to day, it then just becomes part of who you are, your energy, 24/7. It's not something you have to try to do. So that was my it was a portion of the takeaway of this chapter because this is a very heavy chapter for me. So I'm going to leave it at that because I can sit here for an hour. This chapter was huge.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. That's awesome. So important to be able to have perspective on things and really be able to step back and look at the forest from the trees. You know, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, things shouldn't always go our way. You know, like think about that for a second. Things shouldn't go your way all the time. Because if it was that easy, we would all be, you know, we'd all be billionaires, have six packs and walk on water. But that's not the way that life works. You know, look at the situations that we face now. Look at the situations that you're in now. And maybe you're in a time where you feel like everything's cranking, you're in the zone. Or maybe you're in a time where you think that things aren't going well, but maybe you're going in the right direction, but maybe they're not where you want to be. That's okay. Do you have frustration? Do you have disappointment? Do you have envy, jealousy? You know, those feelings are valid, but you have to ask why, right? Nobody's saying that your feelings aren't valid, but why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that way about a situation, a circumstance, a person, a company, a group? You know, any of those things are valid. You just got to find out why, though. And for whatever your truth is, understand there's a whole different opposite truth that you could adopt, good or bad. Right? You design your life. You design what it means. You design how you react. You design where 3 steps from now, 5 steps from now, 10 steps from now, what kind of life you want to and should be living. It is 100% up to choice. You know, if you're resentful, that's also a very damaging feeling. Not saying it's not valid, but if you sit on resentment, you sit on frustration, you sit on envy or jealousy, those things are cancers. So move past them. Because at the end of the day, all of those feelings come down to ego. Why is your ego bruised? Why is your ego hurt? Start setting it aside. Have that emotional intelligence and maturity to move past the, oh, why is this happening to me? You know, I can't remember what the saying is. It's like, you know, woe is me. That's it. Woe is me. So, you know, take the other side, take the high road, and shift that attitude to whatever it takes. Never make mistakes. Like some of my notes here, the whatever it takes attitude, never make mistakes. Create a can-do, not can't-do environment. Provide training, challenge people to take responsibility. Think about what you're doing in your life. The people around you, your spouse, your roommate, your coworkers, relatives. Challenge people to take responsibility for their performance and their outcomes. Because I promise you, if you start looking at it that way, you'll start looking at yourself as well. And ask, okay, why am I taking responsibility? Now, some of the great ones are make everyone feel valued. Every lead is a person. Make that person feel valued. Make them feel understood. Give solid feedback. Right? Celebrate victories. Give people the opportunity to increase their challenges, to test their growth, and to give them wins. Attitude is so important. You know, so whatever the situation is that you guys are in now, what kind of attitude are you approaching it with? Nobody likes dealing with somebody that has a shitty attitude. Right? It's tough to take. And I promise you, some of those people you care about. They have shitty attitudes and you care about them. And those are tough because you can't necessarily change somebody, but we can do our best to change their perspective.
There is a great one on page 160. So it's the example question. How can I serve people in a way that will inspire them to serve others? And that's a loaded question in a sense, because it's allowing you to raise the bar for yourself. To be able to inspire others to serve means you yourself have to serve. It's literally just.
Hey, that's the next chapter, Tammy.
I was reading. Did I read 2 chapters? Oh my gosh. Hey, you didn't.
No wonder it was so big.
But that's a very good point, though.
How do I say that? I feel like
That's a
this
very good point. But that's the next chapter.
is really great summary.
See, I'm so excited for this book. I'm ahead of myself. Well, I do think it's true, though. Teach others how to serve others and just inspire them. Right? And just think of a lot of the. You're unmuted, Liz.
Oh, Liz, you got to mute yourself.
Are you wanting to speak to us? Are you sharing with the class?
She is now. I was trying to find words. Sorry.
That's okay.
When the students pass notes in class, you're like, and the teacher takes the note, she reads it.
I don't know. I don't even know how I was talking. I was trying to ask Miranda, like, what is the word you use for this? Because I was trying to. Yeah. Anyway, all I was just saying. See, I'm so tired. As you were saying, this chapter was a really good summary. Am I muted again? No, I'm not. Oh my god.
No, you're not.
I just was saying, like, I thought this chapter was like a really good summary on everything that we're learning about how to be successful in this business, like every concept and every principle. But I was like missing words because I crash Thursdays and I'm like trying really hard. So I'm really sorry. But yeah, it wasn't like this bam chapter for me. It was just a really good summary because they even talked about failure. I completely forgot about the serving part, so I'm glad you brought that up. But it's like everything we know, and it's just, what do you call it? Like
summarized.
Enforcing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what I cut off.
No, you're good, Liz. You're good. And it's great that you bring up, but you know what you wrote here, Liz, compassion and empathy, those are also characteristics of a leader. Yeah. Right? If you didn't have compassion and empathy, but you're leading, you're more like a dictator or a tyrant. Having that compassion and empathy is how you relate to people, put yourself in their shoes. Again, that's a segment of this chapter, is walking in somebody else's shoes, putting on somebody else's shoes, walking their path, and really understanding where they're at. Empathy is a phenomenal way to connect.
Can I say something? I'm cutting you off again. Yeah, because, maybe people were once upon a time like up here, right? You don't know that. You don't know where people have been or where they're at, but maybe the way you're encountering them, something happened and they're just down here. So that's what I mean about like, they're in cages that they don't want to be in, and you don't know what's happened to them. You don't know where they've been or what they've experienced. And maybe they were where you were at one point, but something happened where now they're just dealing with this shit down here. So that's where you really like that. I like using that analogy just because I think of my work. So because I always have to go to people's levels and then use compassion and empathy, but not take on their energy. I can only really hold space for them. That's it. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay. You can continue.
Very wise, Liz. Very wise. And I'm pretty sure it was John Maxwell that used the story where he said he was on a bus.
Yes.
And there's these kids running around screaming. They're driving everybody crazy. And he says, like, got fed up and says, "Hey, can you like hold down your kids? Like, can you keep them quiet?" They said, and the parent, the father, said, "I'm really, really sorry. They just lost their mother earlier today, and I'm not really sure how to handle it." So, again, dramatic, maybe extreme example, but that really is a great lesson on empathy, and say, hey, I don't know what that person's been through. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't justify a reaction or lashing out, but if I can say, hey, is everything okay with your kids? Taking a different approach rather than, just looking at your own perspective. That having that compassion and empathy, like Liz had just pointed out, really gives you value to other people, and they respect and admire those characteristics in a leader. So, any other takeaways? Is everybody diligent? Has everybody? I just remember today. I noticed nobody posted in the page about the takeaways from the chapter. So hopefully everyone will go there tonight and post their takeaways to share for anybody that doesn't get on the calls.
I just want to call out somebody who's been extremely servant driven in our team, in our community. And that's Colton. He started his Shout Out Sunday on the sole premises of serving his community and serving people that have a greater need than him. And he's remained consistent and congruent and created a following of people. Remember, I talked about being servant is also teaching others to inspire them to be servant. And Colton has inspired many people to give back, to be more servant. And you've done it on a social media scale, my friend. And I just wanted you to share what prompted you, because we all know you're a network marketer. We're all network marketers. And most of us will do Facebook Lives and stuff like that in hopes to serve ourselves, to create prospects and leads and marketing. You understand what I'm saying? But you did this for a completely different reason. I just wanted you to share that, because that, for me, is 100% a servant-driven action that you took.
Thanks, Tammy. Shout Out Sunday has been a huge success. I'm on week 17 on this Sunday. My biggest week was like 800 views. My lowest week is like 230, which, that's a lot of people. So what I do, if you haven't seen the show, is I give 7 shout outs to 7 different people throughout the week that have been, positively impacting my life. And, how it all started was because I went down to the Mastermind in Edmonton, and you guys were talking about, do a weekly go live show. So one morning I was laying in bed there, and I was flipping through all my gratitude, because I read the magic, obviously, right? And I'm like going through to get to the bottom, and I got to the bottom finally, and it was like 300 entries of things I was grateful for. So I'm like, man, that's a lot of things to be grateful for, So I went back to the top, read through everything, and I realized what I'm grateful for is people around me. So I'm like, well, how do I do a weekly go live show and also let these people know that I'm grateful for them? Because I'm writing amazing things about these people, but I'm not sharing it with them. So I'm like, I really want these people to know how much they mean to me. But then I want to extend that just a little bit farther. So I donate $1 per shout out to a local charity in Grand Prairie. And it's been awesome. I've had so much, so many people watching and commenting and, absolutely, reaching out to me privately, letting me know how amazing what's going on with Shout Out Sunday is. And so we ran a contest, and we ended up raising like $400, and donated that to a family in need. And now already, so I've started another contest where I started a GoFundMe page, and we're raising $1,000. And then I'm going to open up the contest for 2 weeks, where you nominate people of acts of kindness that you're experiencing or that you've seen, happen around you. And then I'm going to pick a winner out of all those people that got nominated just out of the hat. And they'll get to determine what charity that $1,000 goes to. So already this week, we just hit $500. So I'm pumped. We're halfway there, and the contest will be open. So yeah, that's where it all started, and this is where I'm at. It's awesome.
Great work, Colton, man. That's awesome. You truly have a heart of gold, man, and it shines through in your smile.
and his laugh.
That's true.
Colton, do you have your theme song?
Yeah, you betcha. I got it here. Just give me 1 second.
All right, if those of you who haven't heard it, it's addicting.
Yeah, I've got a little loop pad here with a whole bunch of different things that I've recorded and pressed those at different times. It's it's a lot of fun.
I think it's awesome.
Here's the theme song.
Is that your own voice?
No, that's a buddy of mine. We recorded that. We planned on doing like something acoustic. We're playing around on the guitar and recording things. And I'm like, okay, I got my mastermind starting here in like 10 minutes. We got to hurry up and get something mailed. So they're like, well, just throw that in there and then we'll do this. And boom, and it was done in like 10 minutes.
Awesome. Nice work, Colton.
Thanks.
All right, gang. Well, let's wrap up. Are there any other takeaways from Chapter 6, Attitude? Everybody's good? Okay. Remember, keep posting your takeaways in the group, not the chat, but the group. And you know what? You actually could post it in the chat. That's perfectly fine too. But post it in the Epic group page so that people can go there and they look at everybody's takeaways. And again, all you guys that are showing up, you guys are leveling up in your business. You guys are, getting leads, getting sales. The sales are coming. Keep focusing and keep leveling up. Keep challenging assumptions and have that whatever it takes attitude. Whatever it takes. Don't make excuses. No more. All right, gang. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a fantastic night. We'll talk to you guys all real soon.
Have a great night, everyone.